So a couple of buttoning things that you can try at home. One is taking some putty or Play-Doh, making a log, and then have her or him practice pushing in the button, making sure that they're pinching the button with thumb and pointer, making a circle, or thumb, pointer, and middle finger like they would for holding a writing utensil. And then practice pushing it in. You can also have your student hold the log or clump of Play-Doh so that it's at a different angle and so that helper hand is getting involved. And practice again the right pinch, pushing it in from the side, because this gives kind of a better, more realistic positioning to mimic what they're going to use for actual buttoning. So thumbs are up, hands are doing two different things, and push. Another thing you can do is have some putty, whether it's in the shape of a circle, ball, square, doesn't matter, but you already have the pre-made slots. So then the person has to kind of orient themselves and or the button. So I am not just able to go anywhere I want. I have to kind of manipulate my hand position, which is something they'll likely have to do with buttons and fabric because those things move easily. For using the button aid, I like to use the words pinch to start, so that again, this becomes the meaning of pinch, whether it's thumb and pointer, thumb, pointer, and middle, thumb up, because most of the things we do are with our thumbs up, like cutting and buttoning. So when you give the cue for pinch, the button, that's the position you're looking for. And it'll likely take a while because once kids see a button, they think that they have to push it like a toy button, or they just start pulling it. So getting that concept and idea of pinching the button can come from a standalone button or just simply adjusting their fingers. They also want to be pinching with their helper hand. So again, 3 or 2, thumbs are up, and you're pulling, find the hole that it makes, and pushing through. Sometimes students get confused as to what their helper hand is supposed to be pinching, so you could put a visual support, also a tactile support, because it feels kind of differently than the rest of the fabric. So pinch the button, pinch the fabric, pull apart, make the hole, and push it in the hole. This motion of pushing with like your index finger as you go in is kind of like putting a coin in a bank. So you can also work on that with just a spare container that you've cut a slit in the lid, and then you're putting in that item or coin into the bank. For buttoning, with the button aid, again, you have to pinch the button and Typically, our hands get used to doing both jobs, whether it be in the button or the fabric, because buttons can be on either side. But you can definitely focus on always having your student pinch with the right hand, the button, and then work on generalizing that skill to the other hand later. But I pinch the button, my thumbs are up. For button aids, I tend to take the fabric and kind of fold it back. And then I also sometimes will have my students stick their finger in the hole because that kind of helps them point and touch the button, give it a high five. And then I use my thumb to push it over. Then the idea of letting go of the button can be tricky, so you might need to do some cueing to move that hand up and pull it the rest of the way over. You can also start by kind of working backwards. So you do this step, this step, this step, all the way to here, and then you have your student pull the button out while your helper hand holds. So they're getting kind of the last step of success as you help them with the other part. And at least with this one, they're getting used to that pinching of the button versus the pinching of everything else, as well as the cues for pull versus push, and getting kind of that idea solidified in their heads that right now, since we're buttoning, we're pulling.